God called Moses to the top of the mountain. The people waited below, wondering what would happen next. The mountain was covered in smoke and the ground shook. God was about to give his people 10 special rules, called the 10 Commandments. God spoke to Moses and gave him 10 important rules. These rules weren't just for the Israelites, they were for everyone, to help us love God and love each other.
You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Honor your father and your mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet.
These rules help us live in peace with God and with each other. When we follow them, we show love and respect to God and to everyone around us. Moses brought the 10 Commandments down from the mountain and shared them with the people. God's rules were a gift, showing how much he cared for them. The 10 Commandments are still important today. They remind us to love God and love others. When we follow these rules, we can live happy, peaceful lives, just as God intended.
In the beginning there was nothing but darkness. Then God spoke, "Let there be light." And suddenly, light burst into existence, separating day from night. This was the first day of creation. On the second day, God created the sky, separating the waters above from the waters below. The heavens stretched wide, a beautiful blue canvas above us. On the third day, God gathered the waters together, allowing dry land to appear. He filled this land with lush greenery, trees, and flowers. It was a vibrant garden, bursting with life. On the fourth day, God set the sun in the sky to rule the day, and the moon and stars to shine at night. These heavenly bodies guided the rhythms of time. On the fifth day, God filled the waters with fish and the skies with birds. Picture the colorful fish swimming in the oceans and birds soaring freely among the clouds. On the sixth day, God created the animals, wild and tame, big and small. But then came the most special creation of all, humans. God made us in his own image, giving us a purpose to care for the earth. Finally, on the seventh day, God rested. He looked at everything he had created and saw that it was very good. This day was blessed as a day of rest and reflection. And so the world was created, a magnificent gift filled with life and wonder. Whenever you look around, remember the incredible power behind creation.
Have you ever wondered why some people seem to grow in their faith while others struggle or fall away? Jesus told a story that answers this question, a story about a farmer, some seeds, and 4 types of soil. It's called the parable of the sower, and it's one of the most important lessons Jesus ever taught. Let's dive in. One day, Jesus was teaching by the Sea of Galilee. A huge crowd had gathered to hear him, so he got into a boat and sat down to teach. He began to tell them a story, a parable, about a farmer who went out to sow seeds. As the farmer scattered the seeds, they fell on 4 different types of soil. Each type of soil represents a different way people respond to God's word. Let's take a closer look. Some seeds fell along the path, where the ground was hard. The seeds couldn't sink into the soil, so the birds came and ate them up. Jesus explained that this is like someone who hears God's word but doesn't understand it. The evil one snatches it away before it can take root in their heart. Other seeds fell on rocky ground, where there wasn't much soil. The plants sprang up quickly, but when the sun came out, they withered because they had no roots. This is like someone who hears God's word and receives it with joy, but when trouble or persecution comes, they fall away because their faith isn't deeply rooted. Some seeds fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. This represents someone who hears God's word, but lets the worries of life and the deceitfulness of wealth choke it out. Their faith becomes unfruitful. Finally, some seeds fell on good soil, where they produced a crop, 160 or 30 times what was sown. This is like someone who hears God's word, understands it, and lives it out. Their life becomes fruitful, impacting others and glorifying God. Later, Jesus explained the parable to his disciples. He wanted them, and us, to understand that the condition of our hearts determines how we respond to God's word. So, what does this mean for us today? The parable of the sower challenges us to examine our hearts. Are we like the path, the rocky ground, the thorny soil, or the good soil? God's word is powerful, but it's up to us to receive it, let it take root, and live it out. If your heart feels hard, distracted, or shallow, don't worry. God can transform your heart into good soil. All you need to do is ask him. The parable of the sower reminds us that God's word is like a seed. It has the power to change lives, but it's up to us to prepare our hearts to receive it. So, what soil are you? Let's strive to be good soil, producing a harvest that glorifies God and blesses others. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more inspiring Bible stories. Until next time, keep growing in your faith. Imagine living in a world so corrupt that violence and evil were everywhere. Now, imagine being so close to God that you simply walked into eternity without experiencing death. This is the incredible story of Enoch, a man who stood out in a world gone wrong and left a legacy that still inspires us today. Enoch lived during a time of great turmoil. The world was filled with violence, corruption, and rebellion against God. It was a time when people had turned away from their Creator, choosing instead to follow their own desires. But in the midst of this darkness, Enoch stood out like a shining light. Enoch's life was a stark contrast to the world around him. While others turned away from God, Enoch chose to walk closely with him. His faithfulness in such a dark time makes his story all the more remarkable. Enoch was the 7th generation from Adam, and his life was deeply connected to God's plan for humanity. He was the father of Methuselah, the longest living person in the Bible, and the great-grandfather of Noah, who would later build the ark and save humanity from the flood. Enoch's faithfulness didn't just impact his own life, it influenced generations to come. His legacy reminds us that our choices today can have a lasting impact on the future. Genesis 5:24 tells us, Enoch walked with God, then he was no more, because God took him away. This simple statement holds a profound truth. Enoch's relationship with God was so intimate that he didn't experience death like everyone else. Instead, God took him directly to be with him. Enoch's translation into heaven is one of the Bible's greatest mysteries. It's a powerful reminder that walking with God isn't just about avoiding sin, it's about living in close, intimate relationship with Him every day. Enoch wasn't just a man of faith, he was also a prophet. Jude 1:14-15 tells us that Enoch prophesied about God's coming judgment, saying, "Behold, the Lord is coming with thousands upon thousands of his holy ones to judge everyone." His words were a warning to the people of his time, and a reminder to us today that God's justice will prevail. Enoch's prophecy points to the ultimate fulfillment of God's plan, when he will judge the world and establish his eternal kingdom. Enoch's translation into heaven is one of the Bible's greatest mysteries. He didn't die, he was simply taken by God. This extraordinary event points to the hope we have as believers, that one day we too will be caught up to meet the Lord. Enoch's story is a powerful reminder that walking with God isn't just about avoiding sin. It's about living in close, intimate relationship with him every day. So, what can we learn from Enoch? His life challenges us to walk closely with God, no matter how dark the world around us may seem. Because when we walk with God, we find purpose, hope, and the promise of eternity. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more inspiring Bible stories. Until next time, keep walking with God.